Hi everyone, welcome back to Total War Therapy, and today we're gonna rank the best demon unit for every category in Total War Warhammer 3, from infantry to monsters, from missile to heroes. So don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy my video, and let's begin! The first question we're gonna answer is which is the best demonic infantry in Total War Warhammer 3, and in the third place we find the exalted Daemon Chaos of Slaanesh and the Daemon Chaos overall. What I truly love about this unit is that they are a high charging, high damage assault infantry that you can send directly against your enemy. They are armor piercing, even the not exalted version, so they are really effective against armored heavy units, especially infantry. Of course, they lack armor, so you have to be very careful of missile units. Even archers can be quite destroying against them. They have an amazing speed, an amazing charge, they have the Strider attribute and the devastating flanker, so they truly benefit from sneaking at the side of the enemy and attack from there. They do plenty of damage, sometimes it's truly unbelievable, and yeah, they have some physical resistance that should compensate the lack of armor, but yeah, you have to be in any case very careful, because they can fall down quite easily, but otherwise they will do a lot of damage. In the second place we find the exalted plague bearers of Nurgle, and even the not exalted version, of course. They are a very resilient unit. I think they are the definition of resilience in this game, even if it's not actually written in the stats. The lack of armor still, but they have the physical resistance to compensate. They have an ability that increase their melee defense, and they have the poison that reduce the stats of the enemy. Then they have the magical damage. They are very slow, they are dramatically slow, and you will feel this into the battlefield, and the charge bonus is almost unexistent, but yeah, it doesn't exist. Then they have a huge melee defense, a good melee attack. The weapon strength is not armor piercing, but still very high, and the exalted version has this missile attack additional, that even if they are very few ammunition and with a short range, they are quite damaging, have to admit it, if used correctly. And yeah, overall they can be your wall, your bread and butter of the Nurgle roster, and they are very hard to take down, and at their job, they are one of the best units in the game. In the first place of the podium, and of course this is just my personal opinion, we find the exalted pink horrors of Tzeentch. The horrors of Tzeentch overall are great, but the pink horrors are even better. They are a hybrid unit, so good both at melee and missile, but they are particularly good at missile. They also increase the magic power of your army, because they help the power recharge. They still lack of armor, but they have the physical resistance to compensate. In melee, I have to say that they are good. I mean, they can resist against mid-tier infantry, not damage dealer mid-tier infantry, but yeah, I would not rely on them against more elite units, but it's their missile power that, I mean, the reason they are actually here. They are so strong, even with a little range that is not that little, because it's still 130, and with a lot of ammunition, with the magical effect, with the fire effect, and the missile strength that is not armor piercing, and it may look not that high, but believe me, when they start to shoot these magical bolts at the enemy, you will see the enemy annihilated in very few shots. They are very dangerous, and I love it. Of course, all these demonic units are quite dangerous, because they can sneak into your empire and spread corruption. And how you can protect yourself from that? Of course, getting NordVPN. That is the best platform about enhanced cybersecurity that can protect yourself from any kind of corruption, virus, and everything that can be a threat for your internet journey. So you can find the affiliate link in my description. I always wanted to do that. And let's start with the second category. The second question is which is the best demonic cavalry in Total War Warhammer 3, and in the third place of the podium we find the Pox Riders of Nurgle. They are a monstrous cavalry, they are not that fast like many other cavalry, they are very slow actually, but the charge bonus is still great. They have a lot of mass, they have more armor than the Plague Bearers counterpart. They have good melee attack, good melee defense with the poison that still reduce the stats of your enemy, the magical attack, they are anti-infantry, ammo piercing, so they are quite destroying if you charge, like at the sides your enemies. I like to use them even if Nurgle with the 2 DLCs now got a lot more of option, but I remember that at the very beginning, at the very release of Total War Warhammer 3, they were the only, high charging option with Nurgle, and I mean, they were great, they were doing an amazing job. They have, many other Nurgle attributes like the Cloud of Flies that increase the melee defense, and I mean, many other things like that. Use them to charge around units, but not chase them because they are quite slow. In the second place of the podium we find the Heart Seekers of Slaanesh. They are predator units, that means that they are very good at hunt down like cavalry, very armored cavalry, some monsters, some characters. I would not waste them against infantry, but they can still do an amazing job. They still lack armor, and yeah, this is insane. They have the physical resistance, but sometimes it cannot compensate that. Then they have all the Slaanesh attribute like the Strider, so no penalties for the terrain. They have an ability that increase their melee capabilities when there are many enemy units with low leadership, and then they are exceptionally fast. Okay, they are one of the fastest cavalry in the game. That's why they are very good at hunting down other cavalry. They have a lot of weapon strength with ammo piercing, a very good charge bonus. The melee attack very high with the magical effect and the poison that, as I said, reduce the stats of your enemy. Overall, use them for versatile and dynamic tactics, even because they have the vanguard deployment, so be careful about where you put them and attack the right units, and you will see that from the mid game to the late campaign they will be just amazing. In the first place of the podium, and of course this is just my opinion, we find the Blood Crushers of Khorne. They are the best for me because they are both very armored, because as you saw, I mean, getting a huge armor in the demonic rosters is not something that common, and they have 100 of armor. They have a good speed, but I mean, it's not their best characteristics, and they are very good against heavy infantry. They have the ammo piercing and the anti-infantry damage with a lot of weapon strength, the best charge bonus here. They have good melee attack, good melee defense with the magical effect, and yeah, they have an ability that gives them another 20% of weapon strength if they kill more than 80 entities, and then yeah, the physical resistance, the magical or the spell resistance, so they're very great. They don't need to psycho charge, they can stay in prolonged combat and still doing a great job without getting hurt so much. So yeah, they are very reliable, very effective at what they do, and that's why for me they deserve the first place in this category. Let's spend some minutes more in the realm of Khorne, because at the third place of which is the best demonic beast in Total War Warhammer 3, we find the Flesh Hounds of Khorne. I have to be honest with you, I don't trust them that much, because they go down very easily if they are in the wrong situation. The armor is very little, even if they have the spell resistance, the physical resistance. They're very good at vanguard tactics, because you can deploy them in the in the vanguard area, and with their speed you can easily attack artillery, missile units of your enemy, and that's why they are truly great. They are very fast and damaging at this. They have a good melee attack and good melee defense, but of course they are dog, so I mean, be very careful, because against a unit of melee infantry they can have many troubles. The weapon strength is particularly high, and even the charge bonus, so yeah, when they attack, you know, from the back, from the sides, especially, as I said, some missile infantry, for example, they will really go down. I mean, the missile infantry will go down in a matter of seconds, and yeah, at this they're very great, but be careful because they are a little untrustable about their health. In the second place we find the Beast of Nurgle, and this is for real a really great unit. This is a huge tank with at a very low price. Actually, this is one of the cheapest monsters in the game, and still amazing at his job. The armor is not that great even with the physical resistance, but with both of them a good melee defense and their regeneration ability is very hard to take down. Sometimes I think in most of the battles I fight against the Nurgle, this is one of the last units to go down. Then there is the Cloud of Flies, like always. It's immune to flanking, so you cannot, I mean, there is no way to get the bonus of attacking him at the side or at the back. It has this ability that is the slime trail, since it's very slimy, so reduce the speed and the attack of the enemy overall. And I mean, yeah, we can talk about the armor piercing damage, the magical effect, the poison effect, but yeah, the truly good ability of this unit is just to stand still in the middle of the enemy army, attack everyone, and not get affected by that, because as I said, it's very hard to take down, it's very tanky. So distract all the enemy while you can, you know, charge units, you can cast spells and everything. They are truly great. In the first place of the podium, and even if it's my personal opinion, I think that it's quite shared by you, we find the Fiends of Slaanesh as the best demonic beast of Total War Warhammer 3. They're a unit of monstrous infantry, and yeah, they still lack armor. They have, but they have the physical resistance, the devastating flanker, the strider, magical attack. But I think that in the stats you cannot actually understand how strong this unit is. First, the melee attack and melee defense is not that great, it's not that high. The speed is amazing. Okay, it's truly amazing for a monstrous infantry that normally are not that fast. They are fast like a cavalry, like a fast cavalry, okay, because there are many cavalry that are slower than them. The weapon strength, it's huge, but I mean, there are not many entities. They are armor piercing. The charge bonus is okay, but not exceptionally great. They have the soporific mask that reduces the melee defense and attack of your enemy, but as I said, even if you cannot read this in the stats, they are devastating. Okay, if you attack the flanks, if you charge the flanks of your enemies, I mean, they will get annihilated in second, they will rout, they will run away, because they are too much, and that's why they deserve this place. Now let's answer to the question which is the best demonic hero in Total War Warhammer 3, and at the third place we find the Blood Reaper. There are two very valuable options as the mount that, as you know, it changed dramatically the usage of this hero. The first is the Juggernaut. In this case you can use it as a character killer. You can hunt down and chase cavalry characters, some monsters, even because the melee attack will be quite high with a good melee defense. The armor is still great. The speed not that amazing, but believe me, it's effective at what it does. The charge bonus is great, and yeah, overall is quite damaging. And with the Blood Throne, that is the one that you can see in the video, he get an additional anti-infantry splash attack, we can say, so you can send it against a bunch of enemy infantry, and it will bring the havoc and destruction. It will just move around and yeah, splash everyone away. And it's good, you know, because very versatile. You can use it in the both way. And yeah, I think that in the Khorne roster they are needy. I mean, you need to recruit at least one of them, because you need this extra melee support. And yes, very great. In the second place we find the Plague Ridden of Nurgle. Even in this case you have two mount option, but I would rely exclusively on the Rot Flies, because with the Rot Fly you will be a flying wizard first, because the Plague Ridden is both a wizard, a spellcaster, and a melee specialist, and it's good at both. With, of course, you can choose the Lord of Nurgle of the Lord of Death, and with the Rotfly that it's very fast, you can move around the battlefield and, you know, cast the spell at the right time in the right place, and still, if you want to attack your enemies in melee, you will be quite sturdy. We can say not as much, I mean, it's still not a great armor. Honestly, the rot flies, I mean, these huge flies of Nurgle, they gain ground over the patches. Before they were very bad, but now in the current situation they are good. At least they are resilient in the Nurgle way, and yes, you can use both in as I said, in the melee and as a spellcaster, and it's truly great and quite needy, because yeah, I think that the Lord of Nurgle should be more specialized in boosting your army, while this in casting spells. In the first place of the podium we find the Allures of Slaanesh. I hope the pronunciation is correct, and even in this case there are three, I mean not two but three different mounts, but the best one is the Exalted Seeker Chariot. This unit is first a spellcaster as the Plague Ridden, so you can cast your spells. You will not have a flying mount, but the Exalted Seeker Chariot is exceptionally fast, even if it's a huge chariot, and this is one of the main characteristics. It's quite armored, okay, for a Slaanesh unit, so you can rely a little more on its resilience. The weapon strength is high, and I mean, it's a big chariot that can charge around, and with all this mass, with the charge bonus of 80, that, oh my god, you can even increase it with the technology, with the red skill, I mean, sorry, not with the red skill, with the skills of your character. I mean, there is nothing, you're unstoppable, okay, really unstoppable. You can go through the enemy formation and you know, reach directly the back with all the missile and the artillery. Of course, be careful of focus fire on you, but I mean, you're really great, and that's why I think this unit deserves the first place. Now let's answer to the question which is the best missile demonic unit in Total War Warhammer 3. And it's very interesting because the demonic roster have very few options, but these few options are truly great. The Skull Cannon. The Skull Cannon before Omens of Destruction was terrible, okay? It was always missing the target, even, I mean, a bunch of infantry at a very short range, but now, over the last patch, I mean, the patch with Omens of Destruction, DLC, it got so great, so precise and accurate, it always hit the target, and it's something so uncommon in this game, and it's still a machine with plenty of armor that it can charge in the enemy and recharge the ammunition, okay? And this is so funny because you can just you know, use it as a cannon, so shoot at the target with this flaming ball that it's truly great, and then charge the enemy to replenish the ammunition that are not that many, okay? That's why you need at some point to charge the enemy and attack them, and it's still very sturdy, okay, because it has a lot of armor. The melee defense is little, but believe me, it's not a problem. You can regain ammunition and then go back and start to shoot again, and oh my god, it's one of the funniest units in this game. In the second place we find another amazing unit in this game, that is the Soul Grinder of Nurgle. One of probably my favorite unit in the Nurgle roster, even if it got only the second place in this category. The Soul Grinder of Nurgle is this huge mechanical demon that is very good both at melee and the missile. We'll talk before about the melee part. It has a lot of armor, okay, and it's still a Nurgle unit, so you should not expect that much armor, but it's more, you know, mechanical. The speed is great for a monster of this entity, and for being a Nurgle unit, it's 75. Why? The melee attack and melee defense are great with magical and poison. The weapon strength, ammo piercing, good charge bonus is very sturdy and tough. It's very hard to take down, and it can be quite helpful in your Nurgle tactics. And then this missile attack, it's wow. There are 3 ammunition, if I remember correctly, that will send with a good accuracy into the enemy. The ammunition are not that many, but don't worry. The range is great, is the one of an artillery piece, a mid artillery piece, we can say. The missile strength, it's so destroying, ammo piercing with the poison, so reduce the speed of the enemy to I mean, everything is perfect. In the first place of the podium we find the Change Bringers. I already said in a previous video that when they announced this unit in the second patch of Shadows of Change, I was a little disgusted, because it was just putting some flamers on a disc. It was so cheap compared to, you know, like the work they did with the made with the Scythe and the Everwatcher, for example. But when I used them in the battlefield, oh my god, I was amazed by how strong they are. They are basically flamers, of course, without many of the problems of the flamers, because they are flying, they are fast, they are very, very fast. And even the flamers have this problem that even if their missile attack is very good, then it's very hard to escape situation, because they are, I mean, they are a little fast, but not that much, and they are very weak about armor and everything. But with the Change Bringers, you can fly away with all the speed, and it's very hard to catch you. And even if you have very few ammunition, if you use one shot for every enemy infantry, for example, just one, okay, don't use 4 ammunition on the same infantry, just deploy them in the right position, shoot at them with your flaming attack, and you will see their health, you know, completely out. So do this for every infantry in the enemy army, and I mean, the work is done. Let's answer to the last and probably the most exciting question in this video, that is, which is the best demonic monster in Total War Warhammer 3. And in the third place of the podium we find the Keeper of Secrets. This unit is great only if you know how to use it. It's not a tank, remember that, so you cannot send it in the middle of the enemy army and expect him or her to survive. The armor is very little and the physical resistance cannot compensate that. It has a shield, but I mean, it's a bronze shield, so it will block just the 20% of attack. And remember that it's a low armor big entity, so a very easy target for archers. They can annihilate these units in nothing if they focus the fire, if they cross the fire on it. The main attribute is the speed and the weapon strength. The speed because it's very fast for a monster of this entity, and the weapon strength because it's very high with ammo piercing damage, magical attack, a great melee attack and melee defense, and a good charge bonus. So basically the best usage is to send it against the cavalry, characters or other monsters, not all other monsters, and yeah, they will do a great job because they are monster character killers, but just that, don't use it as a tank, remember that. In the second place of the podium we find the Grit and Clean one. Now remember what I said about the Keeper of Secret, this is the contrary, okay? This unit you can send it in the middle of the enemy army, and it's really great because even if the armor and the melee defense are not that exceptionally high, and there is, I mean, it's very resilient, okay, it's very sturdy, it's very hard to take down, you have really to cross the fire on it. The weapon strength is very high, still ammo piercing, the melee attack is high with poison, magical, and yes, you can use it definitely as a tank, so just keep it around the enemy army and you know, attract and bait, hold the enemy there, so then you can use a spell, you can charge the enemies from the back, from the sides. It's the best distraction, and yeah, it's a very tough distraction that the enemy will take a while to take down, so you have all the time of the world. Of course it's very slow because it's a big monster of Nurgle, so don't expect, I mean, to win any race competition. In the first place of the podium we find the Bloodthirster. The Bloodthirster is this huge monster with an amazing speed that, I mean, since it's that huge, it was not expected. The armor is, I mean, it's more than okay, it's 70, and the melee attack, melee defense are very great with flaming attack, magical attack. The weapon strength is not only ammo piercing but even anti-large, and the charge bonus is truly great. You should send this unit against large monsters, other large monsters, some mounted characters, or even cavalry. Of course, its damage is more. It doesn't have a lot of splash attack, so you should focus on units with fewer entities. And yeah, it's truly great. It doesn't have spells, but it has the spell resistance, so you don't have to worry about direct damage spells that much. much, and yeah, it's very great at what it does. You can outrun most of the other monsters in the game, so it's truly good at this, and I just love it. I think that any Khorne army should have at least one. And yeah, said that, thank you for following me, and let's see very soon.